Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Leatherneck Insider. I'm Kylie Rogers.
And I'm Zach Zanelli. Coming off a great season, the Macomb High School girls volleyball team is looking forward to a deep postseason run. They are the number 2 seed in their regional, and they will be traveling to Sherrard to take on the winner of the 8 seed Mercer County Golden Eagles or the 10 seed Allman Pioneers next Tuesday. If they make it past the regional semifinals on Tuesday, they will be tested early on in the postseason run, as they would play Rockridge or Sherrard in the regional championship. Sherrard comes with a record of 24-3, while Rockridge enters with a record of 20-5. Good luck, ladies.
Macomb High football team won last Friday night, beating Havana by a score of 28-14. This is Macomb's second straight conference win, improving their record to 5-3. With the win against Havana, Macomb is playoff eligible with 1 game left to play. This is Macomb's first playoff berth since 2012, when the playoffs start in just 2 weeks. Their final game is this Friday against Illini West. Good luck, boys.
From the high school ranks to the college ranks, Western Illinois men's golf team traveled south to their final time of the course this fall. The men's competed in the Herb Wimberly Intercollegiate Tournament. Wyatt Spear led the way, shooting 13 over the 3-round event. Spear would tie for 38th place.
WIU women's golf team faced some challenges throughout their season, but continued to fight through them. Leatherneck Insider reporter Daniel Anaya has more.
The women's golf team just finished their season. With lots of setbacks, the women's team still managed to pull through and have an impressive season.
I think we actually shot our season low the first tournament we went out at ISU, but we definitely had to endure some harder conditions and some sicknesses and allergies and injuries for the last few tournaments we played in. So I'd say we battled pretty well, and we finished pretty decent for our last tournament. So yeah, it's something we need to maybe work on a little bit, making sure that we're staying focused for those 12-hour long golf days. Because our game is pretty good. We just need to stay focused and be able to perform.
During the season, there were some notable players that stood above the rest.
Our number 1 has been a freshman, and she redshirted last year. She's from Australia. She's been pretty consistent the entire time. We've also had some really good performances from Katie Tanner and Natalie Hooper, who are juniors. They've been pretty consistently in the low 70s throughout the whole season.
The women's golf team will be back better than ever, competing next spring. This has been Daniel Anaya with Leatherneck Insider.
Thank you, Daniel. Congrats on a great season, ladies. WIU Volleyball hosted the first 2 games of a 4-game homestand at Western Hall. Their first game was against Kansas City, and things started well for the Leathernecks, but could not finish in all 3 sets. During the match, 3 Western players all set new career highs. Brittany Wolf reached a new single match and a career high in kills for just 15. Maggie Craker posted 31 assists and a career high 18 digs. And Carly Wenzel set a new personal best in service ages for just 3. WIU also hosted Oral Roberts 2 days later, players Kaylin Davis getting a few kills and Peyton Bauman handing out punches, but Oral Roberts went on a 10-2 run to take set 1. Brittany Wolf was lights out in the set 2 as she got several kills, and it was long set for the Western. However, they fell 29-27 on one of the longest sets of the season and would get swept by Oral Roberts after another close third set. Western's homestand continues this Thursday, October 21st at 7 p.m. against Omaha, and Saturday, October 23rd at 11 a.m. against Denver.
The Western Illinois men's soccer team played against St. Thomas University last week, where they secured their first win of the season. The Tommies scored the first goal of the game at the 7-minute mark, with help from Charlie Holton. Not long after the Leathernecks starting 11, Luke DeBall tied the game at the 15th minute. In the second half of the game, Leatherneck pressured the Tommies, which rewarded WIU in their second goal at the 82nd minute mark by Logan Lamar. This giving the Fighting Leathernecks the 2-1 victory. Next, WIU will take on Kansas City for the Summit game on October 23rd. Don't go anywhere, because after the break, I will bring you some more WIU football news. Stay tuned.
Your vision.
When I arrived at Western, I discovered the fields of recreation, park, and tourism administration.
Our mission.
My professors challenged me to develop new ideas and help me grow as a student and a person.
This is Western Illinois University.
I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
Welcome back to Leatherneck Insider. The Jackrabbits from South Dakota State made the trip to WIU and was able to outplay the Leathernecks in the second half. After a back-and-forth battle in the first half, Leatherneck Insider reporter Kylie Rogers has more.
Western Illinois football welcomed number 7 South Dakota State over the weekend and played their best first half of football all year. The Jackrabbits would strike first, but a few minutes later, quarterback Connor Sampson would find Dennis Houston to even the score at 7 apiece. A few moments later, the big leg of Mason Laramie would give the Leathernecks a 10-7 lead. SDSU kicker Cole Fromm would even the score at 10 and again would kick another field goal to end the first half, putting the Jackrabbits up 13-10. The second half was all SDSU as they scored 28 points to the Leathernecks 7. The final score was 41-17. Coach Elliott and I talked after the game on how his offense is progressing and what he looks forward to as the season continues.
We've done some good things. I think it's important when you step back and kind of halfway through the year, you step back and evaluate. You look at things we're doing well, yes, but how can we become better? How can we become more complete? And finding ways to run the ball is always going to be important. Protection is always important. We've got some dynamic playmaking ability type of players on our roster on the offensive side of the ball. We feel like we have a quarterback that can make all the plays for us, and we got perimeter speed and athleticism, and we've got to continue to be a team that's better on third down. We got to be able to stay on the field. We got to eliminate the lulls. We still have too many lulls throughout the course of a game, of whether it's just a quick 3 and out or not being able to flip the field and field possession, and whatever it might be. You're never going to score every time you get it, but there's a lot more that goes into it than that. And so all of those things we're striving to be better in, and we want to be better in, and we're hungry to be better, and our players get that. So, we need to go put that into action against, one of the best teams in the country this week and every week. And to do, we have to do those things to be able to win.
Quarterback Connor Sampson also makes mention on the mindset his team will have coming off of a loss.
I think the biggest thing for us is just, we've said it all season, we got to start fast. We have to. There's no way around it. We can't rely on a second half comeback like we have in the first half of the season. And that's going to be our biggest thing we talk about in practice on Tuesday, is just starting off practice the right way, starting off fast, getting off tempo-wise, everything, and just make sure we do that on Saturdays. We have to really emphasize starting fast, and not just starting fast. We have to finish strong as well, not just playing one half of good football. We have to put together a full game, offensively, defensively, and special teams.
The Leathernecks look to build and learn off this loss and take that into their next matchup in Grand Forks, North Dakota, as they will face the Fighting Hawks. Reporting for Leatherneck Insider, I'm Kylie Rogers.
Stay right where you are, because next up on Leatherneck Insider, we will be moving on our focus to the hardwood. Find out more in a few moments.
Your vision.
As an economics major studying investment banking, I find the world of finance intriguing.
Our mission.
My professors are excellent, and they're preparing me for success in the business industry.
This is Western Illinois University.
I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
Welcome back to Leatherneck Insider. Earlier this week, the Western Illinois men's basketball team released its full season schedule for the 2021-2022 campaign. The Leathernecks open up non-conference play as they host the University of Illinois Springfield at Western Hall on October 27th.
Some notable non-conference opponents include Nebraska, DePaul, in-state rival Eastern Illinois, and Big Ten foe Iowa. League play for the Leathernecks will begin December 3rd as they travel to Denver and will conclude on February 26th. The rest of the WIU schedule can be found on GoLeathernecks.com. With WIU playing these bigger schools, head coach Rob Jeter discussed the positions from facing off against these non-conference opponents.
Well, it's only going to help us to get better, and we're playing against teams that on paper overwhelm us, a little bit bigger, a little more athletic, just a little further ahead than where we possibly are. So it's going to challenge us and make us The speed of the game is going to be a little different. The athleticism that we see across from us is going to be a lot different. The venues are going to be a lot bigger. So it's going to really help us.
Jeter, the second-year head coach here at Western, is coming off a successful first year as WIU was able to make it to the Summit League tournament. Leatherneck Insider reporter Dan McAlooey had the chance to speak with Coach about the two and his expectation going into the season.
After finishing in 7th in his first year and ranking in at number 5 for the preseason polls, head coach Rob Jeter is looking to continue his success going into the 2021-2022 season.
We took this program over in the beginning of a pandemic. I mean, everything that could go wrong at that point in time, kind of did to start a program. You can't see kids, can't really recruit them, can't do all that, can't really work with them, can't set up your standards and your fundamentals. Couldn't do any of that over the summer. So we took over a team and basically just had to get ready to play in a few weeks before our season. So now you fast forward to now, we've had a spring, we've had a summer. I think people are recognizing the hard work and some of the things that we're doing. And that's probably the reason why we're picked in the middle. Now, I think we can do a little bit better than that, but we have to go out there and prove that we can get that done.
The Leathernecks are returning most of the players from last year's squad. WIU is led by senior forward Will Carius. Carius is looking to build off a successful season last season where he was named second team All-Summit.
Big for him. I mean, he was coming off a Division III season where the speed and the physicality of the game was a lot different. Now that he's had a year under his belt, he knows what to expect. He knows he's seen just about everyone in the league other than UMKC. So he's a lot more prepared, a lot further ahead, and a lot more confident. And hopefully we'll see that earlier in these contests.
WIU will start off the season as they host the University of Illinois Springfield on October 27th. Reporting for Leatherneck Insider, I am Dane McAlooey.
Thank you, Dane. Coming up next on Leatherneck Insider reporters Nick Grunwald and Johnny Jezerowski discuss the upcoming NBA season. Stay tuned for more.
Your vision.
My goal is to work at a top 100 television station as a reporter, anchor, and a producer.
Our mission.
Thanks to Western, I have a resume that would beat out most students from the top journalism schools in the country.
This is Western Illinois University.
I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
Welcome back to the show. Leatherneck Insider reporters Nick Grunwald and Johnny Jezerowski have some NBA news as the season has officially begun.
Thank you, Kylie. The NBA season officially tipped off yesterday after an offseason full of moves. We've got our top 5 teams from both the Eastern and Western Conference heading into this season.
Starting off into the Eastern Conference, our 5th best team is the Atlanta Hawks. They come into this season after losing to the Milwaukee Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Yeah, the Cinderella story of last year's playoffs, making it all the way to the conference finals. Trae Young had his coming out party and proved to us all that he has the ability to carry a team deep into the postseason. The Hawks' biggest offseason move was re-signing John Collins, and I expect them to come back this season hungry for more.
At number 4, we have the Miami Heat. They lost to the Bucks in the first round of the playoffs last season, and the Heat made a few moves this offseason, acquiring former Toronto Raptors point guard Kyle Lowry, as well as signing former Bucks forward PJ Tucker.
The Heat finally pulled the trigger and made that trade for Kyle Lowry, and after picking up PJ Tucker, their defense is starting to look championship material. Tyler Hero, who started out the preseason hot, will need to continue to improve and be aggressive as an explosive scoring option for the Heat.
Moving into the top 3, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. After a promising season last year, the Sixers have some concerns about whether their star point guard Ben Simmons will play for them this season. Simmons has stated multiple times that he doesn't want to play for the team anymore, but unexpectedly showed up in Philadelphia last week in his return to practice.
Joel Embiid was the most dominant player in the NBA a season ago and would have walked away with the MVP had he not missed time due to injuries. So I expect Embiid to come back this year, play even more dominant than he did a season ago, and despite the question marks surrounding Ben Simmons, Embiid is that good that he can carry your team to a top 3 finish in the East.
At the number 2 spot, we have the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets lost to the Milwaukee Bucks in the semifinals. Like the 76ers, the Nets also have some questions surrounding their star point guard, Kyrie Irving, who will be away from the team due to his vaccination status.
Unfortunately, Kyrie will be forced out of action for the Nets, and that's what keeps them at number 2. They've got the talent as it is to be a top 2 seed, but in order to jump the defending champions into that number 1 spot, you're going to need all those pieces there, and right now they just don't have them.
And last but not least, at our number 1, we have the defending champions, the Milwaukee Bucks, who defeated the Phoenix Suns last year in 6 games.
Yeah, so the defending champions, I mean, you've got the best player in the world on your team. Giannis is just going to continue to grow and become an even better player. This Bucks team is looking scary.
Now moving into the Western Conference, starting at our number 5, we have the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets lost Jamal Murray last season due to an ACL tear. He's going to miss some time to start the season, so Nikola Jokic will have to continue to carry the load until Murray returns.
Yeah, it was a tough choice over Luka and the Mavs because of the 2 superstars and how great they are. But we're going to give the edge to the Nuggets here to start the year because of the new head coach situation in Dallas. And I think Michael Porter Jr. for the Nuggets is going to take another huge step in his game, and he's going to come out as a strong number 2 option in Denver until Jamal Murray's back.
At number 4, we have the Los Angeles Clippers. It's going to be a rough start for the Clippers as they will be without Kawhi Leonard for majority of the season after he suffered a torn ACL in the postseason.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be something to watch here. Kawhi Leonard coming back from that injury, just see how much he actually plays and how many games he sits out. But after what we saw from Paul George and the Clippers post-Kawhi Leonard injury last season, they really look like they can stay afloat in the regular season and be a top 4 seed.
Heading into the top 3, we have the Utah Jazz. The Jazz led the NBA in total regular season wins with 52. They look to continue with what they did last season after re-signing Mike Conley, who's been a big part of this team.
Yeah, so the Jazz have shown us year after year that if it's the regular season, we can really count on them to be at the top. Now, coming to the postseason, don't hold your breath, but with the regular season, they're always a good team towards the top of the standings. They've got Donovan Mitchell, Gobert, Conley, 6th Man of the Year, Jordan Clarkson, and then the runner-up for that award, Joe Ingles. So they've got a lot of talent there and a strong team, and it's a regular season, so I expect them to be at the top.
Now at our number 2, we have the Phoenix Suns, who lost to the Bucks in the NBA Finals. The Suns surprised a lot of people last season and look to have another great season. They re-signed point guard Chris Paul and added some big man depth with the addition of JaVale McGee.
Yeah, so Phoenix proved us all wrong last year and got all the way to the finals, something that we didn't see coming into the year. Now they're not dealing with any major injuries, so I expect Chris Paul and Suns to start out this season hot and towards the top of the conference like they finished last year.
Lastly, we have the Los Angeles Lakers, who had one of the best off seasons, which is why we have them at our number 1. The Lakers traded for Russell Westbrook from the Wizards. They signed Carmelo Anthony, brought Dwight Howard back, as well as re-signing head coach Frank Vogel, who won a title in his first season with the team, and they finished as the best defensive team in the league last season.
Yeah, so the talent that the Lakers have is just completely unbelievable. I mean, a lot of veteran guys, and they're ready to win a championship. It's going to take some time for them to get into full form together, but when they do, they're going to be a tough team to match up against.
That wraps up our top 5 teams in each conference as the NBA season begins. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Nick and Johnny. I'm excited to see what the Chicago Bulls can do this year after their off-season pickups. That is all the time we have on Leatherneck Insider for today. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram, and be sure to like us on Facebook. Leatherneck Insider will be back next week to bring you more news. Until then, I'm Kylie Rogers.
And I'm Zach Zanelli. Thank you for tuning in and have a wonderful rest of your week.